Hey, what's happening? YouTubers are back with a brand new action figure review, and today we're going to take a look at the Marvel Legends retro carded Lady Loki figure. I just got this in recently from Amazon, and it feels kind of weird because I haven't done a Marvel Legends review in a while. I think the last thing I did was a month ago. It was the Sam Wilson and Steve Rogers 2-pack. But anyways, like we always do, let's get started with the box art first. And like I mentioned, this is part of Marvel Legends Retro Carded Wave, so they do a good job typically paying homage to the old school Toy Biz package art. So you can see the image of Loki right here, Agent of Asgard on the bottom, and then Agent of Asgard written in different languages as well. So on the back of the retro card, you see the name Loki up here, and then a little bio. It says, the trickster god Loki is a master shapeshifter, taking on nearly any appearance at will. Before I move on with the review, I do want to mention this is essentially just a reissue of the Lady Loki figure we got in the A-Force pack, which was a Toys R Us exclusive, and I gotta say, I remember seeing it multiple times at my Toys R Us. Before the closing, it was always there, peg warming on the shelves. There was multiple packs. Even when Toys R Us closed down, I saw that A-Force pack for $50. At the time, I didn't think nothing of it, but man, I really regret not picking that up because there are a lot of figures in that box set that I wish I had. But that's the beauty of Hasbro. Marvel Legends is they do stuff like this for collectors, new and old. They do reissues, which I like, and they typically do it in this retro carded wave, which I also appreciate because they change something a little bit, maybe paint deco or stuff like that. But it is nice for collectors to kind of go back retroactively and get figures they might have missed out on, or new collectors jumping on the line. So my advice would just be, if you ever see a reissue of a figure, don't be up in arms about it. Just kind of be happy that new collectors that are jumping on the line don't have to pay scalper prices to get the old figures. And I gotta say, it almost seems like a shame to remove the figure from this retro carded packaging, and it was hard for me to do that with a Symbiote Spider-Man, but if you're a collector out there that likes the artwork and appreciates it, there's a way to remove it from the packaging where you can still keep the integrity of the box art. Something I learned is if you cut the bottom here, then cut the sides, you can make it essentially like a flap and lift from the bottom. Get that crap out. And then basically you just pull out like this. And you can still preserve the box like that. Alright, so here's Lady Loki out of the retro card, and we're going to start with her accessories, but she doesn't come with many. It's just 2 additional sets of hands, which is pretty cool. They're the fisted hands, and the ones that's on her right now are like these spell casting ones. You've probably seen this reused a lot. I know this came with the retro carded Rogue figure. Alright, now we're going to take a look at the figure itself, and we'll get started with the head sculpt. I believe it's using the same head sculpt as the same Lady Loki that was in the A-Force pack, but the paint application looks like it was applied pretty cleanly on here. The lipstick looks perfect, especially the makeup around the eyes and the eyeballs, the way it's painted on there looks great. I like the sculpting of the horns. It's a little warped from the packaging, but that's understandable. I like the sculpting in between right there, though. And I also like how they have these like little circles in her hair. I'm not sure what that is. Someone in the chat or in the comments below, let me know what that might be. Now, we'll take a look at the rest of the figure. I'm going to take a look at the cape first. I didn't realize the cape came off. I thought it was glued on there, or there might have been a peg, but it looks like it's being held in there by her hair or her head sculpt. The cape itself looks pretty nice. You can see the textured sculpt right there. It's supposed to be like a fur. So I think they did a fantastic job with that. Even though this is essentially just a reuse or reissue of the older figure, it still holds up today in my opinion. And when looking at the figure itself, it looks like it's using the Moonstone buck, which was used several times back in the day. And I think it was retired for like a couple of years, but they brought it back for certain figures, this being one of them. You can see the scaling that was painted on there. I wish it was sculpted, but for budget reasons, I understand why they painted it instead. Now, when taking a look at articulation, it is single jointed elbows, but you still get a nice range of motion, get about 90 degrees right there. And I do appreciate the green metallic finish on her outfit. It's kind of reminiscent of the metallic finish I saw in the Eternals figures. Now, I would have loved to have seen this figure or this character on the Shriek Buck just because we had a little bit more range of motion articulation. But overall, I think it's still a fantastic reissue and still kind of holds up today. The only thing I will say is the head sculpt looks like the hair is kind of hindering it from moving around because it kind of looks like she's just always looking up. You can pose the figure to kind of look down, but it's just kind of it'll go back to looking up just because that hair is hindering it. So you have to rely heavily on that diaphragm cut. All right, now we're going to jump right into size comparisons. And first size comparison, here's Loki standing next to a couple other female figures that are sharing the same Moonstone buck. We have the retro-carded Rogue and the retro-carded Black Cat. Next size comparison, here's Loki standing next to the Marvel Legends Sylvie and the Marvel Legends 80th Anniversary Thor. All right, next size comparison, here's Loki standing next to the Marvel Legends Shriek and the Mattel Masterverse Evil Lyn. And I'm posing her next to Shriek just because it would have been nice to see what this figure would have looked like on this buck because of the double jointed elbows, and they're pinless as well. And also, who do you think would win this fight, Lady Loki or Evil Lyn? And last size comparison, here's Loki standing next to the Marvel Legends Stan Lee. Alright, so my real thoughts on the figures, I really like it. At its core, yes, it's just a reissue to some collectors, but to me it's important just because it allows new collectors to the game to backtrack and pick up figures they might have missed out on because it was released before they got into collecting, or if they missed out on it like myself. Like an idiot, I missed out on that A-Force pack, especially at a good price. But I think it's still a good-looking figure nonetheless. I would have liked to seen it on the Shriek buck, but the Moonstone buck is still a good buck to use. But overall, I do like this figure. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, YouTubers. What do you think about this figure? Will you be picking it up? And like always, if you like what you see, be sure to hit that like button. If you haven't already yet subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Read up on Loki. It says, the trickster god Loki is a monster. Oh, god damn it. Open this flap up like that, and then remove the figure like so. Alright, I guess not. God damn it.